What's going on, family? Thank y'all for joining me on another episode of Abandoned Voices. Today I'm talking to the lovely Mrs. Kim Ford. We was having a conversation about court monitoring.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna do the talking because I have no idea what a court monitor is until I met this lovely young lady right here. How you doing, Miss Kim?
I'm good, my brother. How you feeling?
I'm wonderful. I'm
excited to be talking with you today here.
Now, what's going on with this court monitoring stuff that people like me don't know about?
Well, what it is called Court Watch NOLA.
Oh, it's Court Watch. I'm all wrong.
Court Watch NOLA. And Court Watch NOLA is an organization that monitors what's happening in the court systems. And so, of course, you know, the money is tight, so they have to start off small, and then we gradually grow, and thanks be to God, just because God is good and he makes a pathway for justice to take place, you know. And with Court Watch NOLA, they train at regular citizens just like you and I, and there are no prerequisites except that I think you have to be over 21. That's all. No matter if you're a student, no matter what you do, you're eligible, even if you're a convicted felon.
Wow, convicted felons?
Convicted felons too? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What? How you gonna be able to monitor the courts if you don't want to accept people who've been informally incarcerated?
You know a lot about it.
Right? So, and what it does is gives you, it's a quick course, and because you have to do a training before you can do it. And and it's a one-day training. It's like all day, maybe a couple of hours, and then they feed you lunch or whatever while you do it. And
that jailhouse food?
No, this is not in a jailhouse. This is a lady. This is led by a lady named Simone Levine, who's an attorney. She's also a practicing attorney, and I don't know how Simone got started doing this, but she wrote a grant, or she helped to write a grant to get the to have this program operating, and she did the networking it took to have the criminal court judges to participate in the process, which criminal court judges are elected, first of all, so they should be receptive to having people who vote for them. They have to be acceptable to that. Because where I sit as a citizen, baby, if they're not acceptable to it, then I have a problem with that, and you're not going to be able to run forward.
I mean, only you'll be not accepted to it if you kind of corrupt.
Well, and guess what?
You know.
Yeah.
So a court monitor, you basically sit in the court and just watch the cases to make sure.
Well, what you do is we get a little. We have a form that we fill out, and they have questions on there, like, you know. And what I do is that I set aside a day in the week when I'm going to be available to do it. And I try to do at least one monitoring a day. I try to do at least that as my community service to the injustice that black people are experiencing in the criminal court system here in New Orleans. But we just got approved to do municipal court, and we also got approved to do magistrate court. Magistrate court is when you go, once you've been arrested, you go before a judge, and you know, they decide they got set a bail for you, set a bond amount for you, and all that kind of thing. So we get training on that and how that's supposed to effectively work, so that you could go and monitor the court. So even if you're not available during the day, you know, you could go on a weekend, because they have to have court every day. I think magistrate court is on Saturday and Sunday, and then they have them in the afternoons, you know, during the night or whatever too, you know.
I never heard of a court. I never know people that actually go in the court, sit there and watch to make sure.
Because it's brand new, my brother. It's brand new.
Oh, all right.
And it's long overdue. But if you don't know about it, how can you do it?
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So right now, I'm actually working with the judges on my own as a citizen to ask them, because a couple of them were running for office. So when they came to the different groups that I belong to, I asked them about being able to come to court, register people to vote, and to be able to ask people to sign up for Court Watch NOLA and tell them what that is, right? So yeah, and, you know, it's funny because I went to monitor last Friday, and the judge was one of those judges that I spoke to. But I called him, and he didn't answer my phone call. I called him to set it up, and he didn't return my phone call. So when I went to his courtroom, and he saw me,
the monitor,
because I had my tablet and this is my little yellow tag right here for my Court Watch. This is it right here. It's a Court Watch NOLA, and my sons have to be able to go in there and monitor the court. And just God forbid you should ever have to go to court. Right. You want to be able to make sure it operates fairly.
I'm pretty much sure the judge kind of got to go fair when you sitting in the court looking at him, right?
You'd be surprised, brother. You'd be surprised.
So how normally go when you be in a court?
Well, I every time every day when I go, it's a different experience, And the first time I went, actually, I wasn't a court monitor. I just went to observe. And the process even to get in a court, like I had a cell phone with me. I went to a guy who was on trial. They had wrongly convicted him. And so my group was going to sit in the courtroom to advocate for him. And it was horrible. It was just horrible getting in the court. Like I didn't have my cell phone with me, so I had a cast on my foot. I had to go walk go back to the car 3 blocks. Yeah, I had to go walk back to my car with the cast on my foot 3 blocks to leave my phone in the car, because you can't go in the court with your cell phone. And there's no signage or anything that tells you that before you walk up all those stairs to get in there. So just the whole experience.
It sounds like a setup, like they
and it was good, God let me see how difficult it is still at my age, 56, to be able to see the same injustices that's been happening in that criminal courthouse are still going on, to intimidate people that have to come there. All the intimidation, the racism, just all kind of really negative vibes that happen in there.
That don't happen in New Orleans courthouse.
Yeah, but see, that was my experience. And then while I was there, I happened to just be talking to someone about how that experience was when this guy was on trial. And they said, well, we have Court Watch NOLA, and that's all they do is monitor what's happening in the courtroom. And so that's how I came to get involved. Wow. It was just like that. It helped me to get involved. But we should not have to wait until we personally have that experience to go to the courthouse. We need to each one be telling one right now, because the way that things are happening around here, black men are more likely to go to jail in Louisiana than they are anywhere else in the world.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, you're looking and talking to one who never been to jail.
So, baby, look, and here, make it right here. And just because you haven't been to jail,
you're right about that.
Just because you haven't been in jail, trust when I tell you, it's just the luck of the draw. It's just the luck of the draw. It can happen to you at any time. Right. Most times, people don't plan on going to jail. Right. People don't plan on being stopped while they black.
Now, I had a bunch of experiences like that. And,
see what I'm saying?
You're right.
And so anytime it could happen.
I actually been to the holding cell before for
an
expired driver license.
Really?
No, not expired. Expired driver license like that. But
they could have given you a ticket. They could have given you a written ticket for that.
And when the girls knew me, and when she saw me, she was like, "What you doing here?" And she fast tracked me, and I was out within 2 hours. I had to
go there and make a right down from down there.
Yeah, so I really didn't experience jumpsuits and handcuffs and all that type of stuff. People go through. So
I'm so sorry.
Thank God for that.
Right, thank God for that. But guess what, though? That don't mean it can't happen to you again. You just have to luck up that time.
So how I get
a lot of folks don't even get that luck. They get the full money.
So how people get involved with being
Court Watch?
Court Watch.
You can just go to. It's online. You can go to Court Watch NOLA. COURTWATCHNOLA, and it's only here in New Orleans. So sorry, but hopefully that kind of program can be instituted across the country.
A New Orleans citizen to do it? You gotta stay in New Orleans?
I think that people from out of town could probably come in and take a look. But before you can be a court watcher, you have to go and get the training. You have to do the training. Everybody, it's like certification kind of thing. You have to go there. You have to, know what's required of you. And really, what they do is that they take that information and they post the statistics online about the findings, the annual findings. How many court? What? Like, man, I went to a court one time, man, and the judge was talking with the district attorneys, without the prosecution being there. Like, the judge and district attorney would be over on the side bench laughing and talking during open court, and that is a no-no. They're not supposed to do that, because the defense is supposed to be privileged to all the conversation between the judge and the district attorneys, because the judge is supposed to operate fairly, and that's not fair. The
New Orleans DA is Canizero, right?
Canizero. I'm also working on a Canizero campaign that's going to kick off district attorneys that are in the court, the assistant district attorneys that are in court. That we going back, right? Yeah. And it's on the next street, 1700 contact. So we working on doing that. I'm very active in the community. I do more than just Court Watch NOLA.
I read your Facebook profile.
Yeah. And I think that's what it takes.
This can be busy.
Yeah, I think it takes all of us being involved in the leadership, holding our elected officials accountable. And if we don't do that, then we doomed. And that the flooding 2 weeks ago was a big sign of that. We're gonna lose out. We don't have an option except to be involved and know what's going on.
Exactly.
I believe that, and the court watch is so empowering to me, to be able to, as a citizen, be able to have the wherewithal to monitor a trial to make sure it's fair. Even though I don't know the people, you can't court watch for people you know. Your family and friends, you're not supposed
like a
to do
random
that.
Case,
you have to be able to, you can't just go there because you know somebody. But yeah, you can. And whenever you enter the court, you have to be able to wear your ID. Yeah, right. That building, that upstairs building right there.
Oh, all right.
You have to be able to wear your ID, where the awning is coming out right here.
I bet when you walk in there with that yellow badge on, everybody.
In the court?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. And the first time when I went, how they treated me so horribly, and I had to go walk 3 blocks. Hey, I had to go walk 3 blocks to bring my cell phone back to the car. The way they treated me, man, it was rough. I wouldn't want to go back there. They're
probably trying to get you to not come back.
Right. They wouldn't want somebody like me to come back, but it had just the opposite effect. And then when I was in a courtroom, I watched the judge just manhandle this young black guy, and he said something. The judge said something in the court like, "Yeah, because people like you need to get off my street." And I was just sitting, and I was just observing, waiting for my friend's trial to come up, And when I heard him say that, I took that as an affront. What do you mean? He could be my son. He could be my nephew. So why would he not be perfectly suitable to walk down the streets in the city of New Orleans? Because your city is my city. And certainly in my city, he got the right to walk down the street. So it had me, I really felt some kind of way to see that judge behave in that way. And so this is an opportunity for me to level that playing field.
Right.
Being a court watcher. Because it's the right thing to do, It's the right thing. People don't deserve that. And when you go to court, it's your constitution. It's in our Constitution that you should be perceived innocent until proven guilty. Right. That's the most basic right that you have to adhere to. And clearly the judge wasn't doing that, because he wanted to be able to point this man out and look at him. Right. And then I only saw black folks down there in criminal court. So that concerned me also.
Exactly.
So it's a lot of things. And just like I said with you, it's just a luck of the draw that you have been, that you have not been subjected to having to be
I've been in some
a
situations. I just
Yeah.
haven't been there.
and look, I'm telling you, it can happen anytime.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't just you have to be
Exactly.
prepared for it. And one thing about it, if they stop me, I'm gonna know my rights. I'm gonna know my rights, and I'm gonna know folks who know me. Hey, baby, who know me and
I
can
know, you
testify
know
that I
everybody.
am who I say I am. Yeah, I do. I know a lot of people. I do, and I'm thankful that I love my city. I love what I do. I'm happy. I got a great life. Been married 30 years, you know.
Years, huh?
So that gives you, so you get a little joy behind that, you know. Yeah, and this is a big thing right here. This is Justice and Beyond. I'm going to every Monday at 4:45. Community advocates from across the city have dinner together and talk about hot button issues and where we are. Yeah.
And so
That's what I'm saying. It's at Christian Unity Baptist Church, Reverend Dwight Webster. A lot of people know about it, you know, but they could look up Christian Unity online. They can look up Justice and Beyond online, you know, and then you can look me up. I'm Kim P. Ford on Facebook, Preston City Lady on Twitter, and on Instagram.
you be busy, huh?
Yeah.
All right, Miss
I
Kim.
do. I be busy, baby,
It was
because
nice
that's what we got
talking
to
to
do.
you.
It's a pleasure, baby.
I really
it was a
appreciate
pleasure.
this knowledge about this court
Yeah, I want to bring some knowledge.
And
you know?
Court Watch NOLA. Get involved, spread the word. Get more of us monitoring the courts. Never heard of it. Learn something new every day. Thank y'all for joining me on that episode of Abandoned Voices. Now stay tuned now, because we have a bunch of more conversations on the way. Thank y'all, and stay tuned.